Well, hello to this presentation for Chinese 4334 is will consider my final. My name is Melody. I am a critical languages and national studies in Chinese major, and this is my presentation. So the first topic I chose was Chinese marriages, traditional to modern. And we're gonna start by explaining some things. So what are traditional Chinese marriage customs? Oh my god. So historically, marriage was seen as a family contract rather than a love in the traditional Chinese culture. By the primary goals to continue a family lineage of male heirs, making and improving social alliances that could offer political relationships, economic advantages, and social benefits. The marriage is a primarily alliance between two families, well, mostly the parents or grandparents that set it up, leading to the family to be more involved since status was more important than the thoughts and feelings of the bride and groom. Gender roles in marriage. The roles of the man in Chinese culture, the man is expected to continue the family surname by having an her or son, leading to finding a woman who knows how to manage a household and can bear children. Not only does the woman have to learn how to manage the house, she is expected to be loyal and do house labor. In the past, women had to learn how to do textiles, which is clothes, fabric, yarn, etc. And apart from raising the children, she would still have to serve her in laws. But what made this marriage more of a contract was because the family will exchange good as a part of the marriage. Mostly the bride's family, since it's more like a bride price system. So the bride family will end up giving money, furniture, jewelry, clothing, and expect the man to provide already those for her. But in modern times, couples have more freedom to choose, although they will still need to have the family's approval for their future partner. Now, marriage ceremonies. Um, well, the marriage was not about just love. It was mostly about the family's new harmony or connection, leading to having very specific ceremonies or rituals, such as the hair combing, as you can see in this picture. The hair combing ceremony, also known as shutou, a very private and intimate ritual which takes place in the night before morning of the wedding, where an older female will comb the bride's hair 4 times as saying blessings as combing the hair. So I gave some examples of what some older females have said. So for like first comb, they'll be like 一树树到位. The second comb, 20拜年好合. The third comb, 上书子字满堂. And the fourth comb, 四梳白发气美. Ooh, I probably said some things wrong, but it's okay. But have seen also more videos where some families still do this hair combing ceremony, but not as much as in traditional Chinese history. Not only that, but they wear red clothing or red and gold colors in the wedding, since it's a main element on Chinese traditional culture. They will use red, hong, as the color of symbol of good fortune, luck, happiness, and prosperity. But the bride would traditionally also wear a red qipao or chunhua. Not only red is the only color they will probably wear red with mix of gold, so jin, which gold will symbolize wealth, status, and abundance. And they also have more ceremonies such as born rituals and tea ceremonies. But the one I found more interesting was the hair combing. I never heard of this before, but I'm glad oh my god. But I'm glad I was able to research this. Oh my god. Okay, so now we're gonna talk more of discussion. So, in comparison with my Mexican Western culture, since I grew up with Mexican parents, but was born and raised here in Texas, United States. So I was able to have an experience of this Mexican Western culture. But I would love to discuss the differences that China emphasizes more on family, honor, and specific matches, while Western Mexican culture will prioritize love and respect the children's choices. So, China, virtually, first let's talk about family involvement. In China, the parents have the authority to arrange the marriage. So, it's not as much as back in history where grandparents, older parents, slash family members would choose a partner. But in Western Mexican culture, as long as we have a parent's consent, that's enough for us. And it's something similar for family involvement is that we, at the end of the day, all of us celebrate the union of these two families. Now, for ceremonies and Chinese costumes, as we said in the previous slide, is tea ceremony, bone rituals, banquets, and Mexican Western is like doing your wedding at church, having big receptions, also like banquets. And a very similar thing of all three of them is that this is of a public celebration together as a family or friends or whoever you invite you're getting married. Now for Chinese costumes, for symbolic objects, they will have red envelopes or golden jewelry. Also the same as Western Mexican costumes, they will also have objects, which is rings, a bouquet of flowers, or in Mexican culture, we have something called the wedding lasso, which is like a big lace that's wrapped around you, showing like a connection. But at the end, all of these objects symbolize like a physical thing, like a blessing of exchange. So yeah. So why are parents so involved in this? Well, Confucian plays a great factor in parental involvement by placing family over individual desire and wishes. The reason for parents' involvement is because from the start the children owe their existence to the ancestors, which is why you can see in some Chinese ceremonies where the couple will bow to the ancestors. And not only that, but the reason that actually I can write on this. But the reason of that is stability. Many parents want economic stability for their children, so they would try to materialize a stability where the union will be more like an economic stability to have a proper property, income, and savings. So they just want like the safety of a future with not having to worry about income. And but as many years went by, many Chinese citizens have stopped looking for love and not wanting to get married, leading to parents having to go search for someone to help them out, which lead us to the existence of the Shanghai marriage market, which is this little picture, like a little example. So the in the market, parents and grandparents will advertise their unmarried children by posting their resumes, having signs or lists why they should pick their child. In this resume, I don't know if you can see that little, but in those little resumes or papers, the ad would have the age, educational level, residence, income, profession, and so on. But those are the main ones. But all of this exists because parents are starting to have anxiety, which they don't want their unmarried children to, be leftovers. They wanted to have a successful marriage and they want to end up having grandkids. So they don't want their children to be a leftover man or woman. Okay. Now, the analysis of this kind of behavior, right? So, most Chinese families want a secure future for their child. They are not really looking for a romance, but looking for a partner that will have that will be great financially, educational, and socially, ensuring at least a lineage of the next generation. So the economic concerns of this is that many cities in China have become truly expensive to live in, leading to the man needing to have a great source of income to support his future family. Some even are demanding a house to have a secure home. But it's not only also economic conflicts, but it's also jobs A competition is obviously really huge in China now that China is a really great country, but parents are looking for a partner that will have the stability to support by having high income professions such as a finance job, medicine, or technology. But also, why is this still normal in China? Well, there's so much pressure of trying to get their children to be married, leading to many unmarried children to be left over in society, which literally is kind of such a sad name to call them because a social pressure thing has rooted in China where women after the age of 27 to 30 who are unmarried are seen as undesirable and literally leftovers. Every time I hear leftovers, it reminds me of food leftovers. Like nobody wants that. And but this not only go to women, this also goes to some men. But this stereotype is making parents to urgently fix their mianzi, which is their social status and dignity that they don't want to lose, fueling the urgency to hit their last option, the market for a partner for the children. Although this would not really work in Western society because, first of all, Western, not Western, but most United States has been, according to my research and my learning, America is such an individualistic country. So we just mostly think of ourselves only more. And we grow up with values, which makes sense why America ended up being such an individualistic country. But Chinese norms will have not been accepted in most Western countries since the difference of values and culture itself. And in Western culture, we have individual values such as the personal freedom, pursuit of happiness, and many individual values that are different from the rest of the globe. But the big difference will come from the parental involvement, where the in Chinese views of the parent involvement, it would be like the responsibility, like they are responsible to secure future for their child, and they want their families to be stable economically wise and to keep their social stability. While comparing Westerns, if a parent is involved so much in the child's like relationship, it will seem controlling and overstepping their personal boundaries, which mostly Western parents, they want their children to experience romance and have a stable emotional relationship with their partner. So, this significance to Chinese people will be marriage is still more of a foundation of society and history. Rest of a family, the act of marrying and having children fulfills the family's parents and ancestors, often seen as a complete thing to continue the family's name with honor. Also, status. It will be seen more respected within the community, confirming the ability to be able to manage a house, family, and work, aka just increasing your family honor. But oh my god. but this kind of marriage is still evolving to this time as we speak it. It has slowly become more of a normal thing to be more of a love marriage rather than a contract marriage. And yes, there's still parental influences, but women have also started to be way more independent, so they won't have to, going back to like the first slides, women won't have to find a man that need to have all these things, just like income, home, great education, because women already this age, we're able to have that as well. So I feel, this is not a thing that is stopping, it's more of a thing like we're evolving together as a globe. So applications. So in the future, I see more, as I said before, the increase of independence. Young people have decided to go seek their own independence, find their own personal compatibility, rather than listening to what exactly the parents want. And this has become also true for the women who have achieved their own education, their own economic independence, and just more of a choice for them. But, my God. But at the end, this, oh my God, I've lost. Parents will still play a huge part of the children's relationship. It just shifted way more weird. the parents, all they can do is more approve of their part of the kid's relationship, letting the kid decide, not the parents to decide. So when else would I see more in the future of marriage in China? I still see that the age will continue to be married between late 20s and early 30s. I still see more people trying to focus on career and wealth. They're trying to focus on getting money, that income first. But also, from research, there's already been a huge decline in national birth rate, with the government ended up having huge concerns for the aging population and workforce. So now the government has encouraged for you to be married and for you to have children. To the point that also added a third, not third, a three child policy, where you guys remember back in the day, it used to be a one child policy. Now it changed to three. So that's a huge advancement. So would I adopt any of these traditions? Well, I do say I do admire some of this, but there's some balance I wouldn't really adapt to it at all. First of all, oh, excuse me. I really love the values. I love how they have strong family unity in this. I love that they have great emphasis on stability, because they're just worried for their kids to not have a future. I also like they just want a partner that will be committed to a lifelong challenges together. But there's some things that I wouldn't adapt to. Will be, well, this will go mostly to ancient Chinese, where the parents will end up choosing your spouse. I feel that is not correct. I feel the child needs to also have the opportunity to feel love and feel a connection before a long term marriage. Also, that still goes to the parent, that I don't want the parents to choose. And financially, I don't want the pressure of being financial stable. Like, yes, I get the stability should be good, but if you shouldn't be pressured to have a job where you need to be stable. I feel like that is kind of too much. But it's still how it really affects me personally. By growing up in a Mexican Western culture, I have witnessed many relationships, stories, marriages, etc. Western culture adapts more into romance. Mexican culture adapts more into relationships. And Chinese culture adapts more into stability. But the one thing I would love is having a blend of all these three values where I can coexist and I can see the benefits of all the three of them. You think about it. First of all, from partnership, I feel marriage is more of a, like, partners in crime, where you're gonna be together, where it can also be a mix of friendship, love, and just a deep connection. But in love, I feel will have mostly like going to Western focuses more on love, so just you being happy, a lifelong of happiness, fulfillment, right? In Mexican culture, we're adapting relationships. Mexicans are just mostly worried about you having the right partner, just someone you can spend your life with. And in Chinese, they just want somebody that is gonna be there through all the challenges, from economically, financially. So all of this, I feel, just gonna be really good values of all these three. So with my Chinese friends, I can see the relationship have involved their parents' acceptance rather than control. So I just hope everyone would have the opportunity to experience an individual choice in romance. Now, for topic two, which I chose school education in China. So we're gonna talk about the Gaokao, and it's technically the Gaokao. It's a national higher education entrance examination, where it's a test across China that it takes 2 to 3 days. So in simple terms, this is China's national college/university entrance exam. But this placement, this the student score will decipher the university. The points you get on the exam will make a huge difference in making it into a top tier school, a trade school, or just not even getting accepted to a school. So this will make changes into your career and social life, because the score will determine the student's career, the potential, and a social standing. Especially for students that come from low income or working class, this is their major chance and opportunity to focus, to get a future career and help to social mobility and status. But yes, even though it sounds great opportunities, the test difficulty is really hard. With competing with millions of students and the limited time you have to take it makes it the world's most stressful test or exam ever. So, what is life as a student in China? Well, a student's life is completely different from the United States. The more I see videos, the more I read it, the more I hear from my friends, it's just crazy. So, students from an early age have has a dominant life of pure academics, studying homework, and going to class and repeat. Chinese schools have long schedules compared to Western schools. Students spend 10 to 12 hours daily at school. Like, sometimes they just go home 8 p.m. and go to sleep, wake up early in the morning, and repeat. Like, I will get exhausted. But even if they don't have school on the weekend, they still go to tutoring or cram school or just study all night. So the amount of homework the students receive is insane. Heavy workload, taking practice exams, getting less sleep every night, constantly using their brain power during the day, making young students already grow white hairs due to stress. So the teachers, not only that, but the teachers also hold a high authority and social respect with the students, leading to the school environment to be more of having discipline and order, where students need to follow instructions and need to keep up with their learning. But this education system makes students more hardworking, disciplined from an early age, respect to higher ups, and students have the opportunity to go to top tier school, along as they study and focus on academics. But why is this so much pressure? Well, family honor ties to academic success. Yep, I know. So the performance of the student will be the social standing of the family itself, especially the mianzi. So when a student scores really well in the Gaokao, the whole family gets praise and respect across the whole community. But if a student fails the Gaokao, it brings shame to the family. The success of the students is like repaying your parents' sacrifice for your education. And yes, even it sounds a lot. Um, the most pressure I feel they get is for like the low class, the working class, because since the Gaokao could be taken by anyone, then it also gives an opportunity for low class that have bright students to compete against the wealthy, brightest students. But it can make a path to a better life by attending a top university in a great city if you pass the Gaokao. So yeah, I know, really, really wild. So now let's really talk about it. Let's compare more things and analyze it. So going back to it, how it compares and differentiates around US and Mexico, where the US system also had, not had, but we still have a big college entry exam, which is called the SAT or the ACT. Oh my goodness. But America started to lose the value of the ACT, because America has realized that the scores doesn't solidify you as a student. They realized a number doesn't isn't gonna say more than your other studies, because it only focus on reading and math, and that will not it won't show your actual grade values what else a student has. So it stopped being an intense exam. It started being more stressful for the ones that actually want to go to a top tier school like Harvard, Yale, and so on, right? Compared in China, this exam will decipher from all those schools. So it is really extreme. You won't even have time to socialize. And in Mexican system, the same thing as Chinese system, which surprised me a lot. I talked to my parents about it, and they're like, "Yeah, we also have a college extra exam that it will depend if you go to college or not." So this is called the examen de admisión, and this will solidify if you're even going to school as well. If not, many kids end up being depressed because they couldn't go to school because they failed the test, leading to more class working than higher education. Um. Oh my god, I forgot something actually. Well, the Chinese system really emphasizes more in mastery, right? In the United States, we focus more on the talents itself, and Mexico focuses more on local standards. So it's like going from bottom up. But behind the behind the fact that, wait, oh my god, factors behind the pressure. So population size will equal to competition. As we all know, China has a large population, making competition greater. Millions of students take it every year, leading to the competition to be fierce. So who can get the greatest score, leading to limited resources. The population makes universities only accept certain amount of students since they won't have enough space for all students. But even with all this, the government still decided to reward some students of their achievements by, after being admitted to a prestigious university, you can even get away to have a urban residency permit, which grants you access to job opportunities or better social services. Not only that, but recruitment to elite Chinese society because as government, states, enterprise, or powerful institution with stable income and positions. Apart from that, family will give you a lot of pressure because they will hit you with the "I made so much sacrifices for you to fail me." So I feel that picture really shows it a lot. That also family involves being a great factor for being so much under pressure. And not only that, but significance to Chinese society. The intense academic life is seen by the government and society as the necessity for strengthening the nation's economic development. By hiring capable students, the system has the necessity to have humans that could be trained for harder tasks such as engineering, scientists, doctors, or even researchers. All this will give China the opportunity to grow faster than other countries, where the help of this it will produce students to have a high level of discipline and resilience. So the perfect qualities for an efficient and reliable hardworking workforce, which creates a sense of of union and shared experience. Because sharing the experience of years, hard work, studying, everyone is able to understand each other because they were able to have the same amount of pressure together as a nation, making them more the nation of a united thing. Although sounds great, there's many negative effects that come to this. The intense pressure of academic excellence to pass the Gaokao has a major effect of all the students. It has anxiety, the fear of failure, depression, disappointing everyone, suicide, people that can't deal with the pressure anymore, lack of sleep, leading to poor concentration, health conflicts, which will lead to sleep deprivation, headaches, and heart problems, and also physical and emotional burnout. You won't really have freedom for all this. This system does not allow students to develop extracurricular skills or social development in their life because China prioritizes students to focus and study rather than hobbies, activities, or sports. But surprisingly, there is positive effects. The intense pressure fostered the personal and social benefits to China's rapid national development and global competitiveness. Those long hours of studying made them hardworking by being able to resist that hardship, giving students the ability to be more successful, productive, and bringing a strong workforce ethic. The amount of skilled forces is increasing, but the amount of skilled graduates related to math, engineering, science, or technology, making China to improve in their technological advancements and bring success to the economy. Oh my goodness. Also, the endurance of long stress competition like a sleep made them feel more motivating because after feeling all that pressure, give them more motivation that since you pass a Gaokao, that means you can do anything. So now, applications, future, personal reflection. Okay, so what I see really more of the future of China in education is that the country itself is in undergoing modernization, but I don't see the reduction of academic pressure to decrease anytime soon because the government has decided to create a quote double reduction policy, which aims to reduce the burden of students since they have realized that negative social life is affecting low birth rates or creating huge anxiety. So, uh, wait, oh my god, a burp. So, reducing the amount of work, reducing the amount of homework has been assigned to schools. They also, one thing I like is that they decide that tutoring on weekends and holidays was banned because they want the students to relax. Also, they also tried to attempt to encourage universities to consider more diverse admissions, almost similar to the US, where I talk about where America's focuses more on talents rather than it scores itself because it doesn't solidify you as a student. And so it can lessen the importance of the Gaokao oh my god, score. So the push of creativity to encourage skills beyond memorization alone, leading to curriculums to integrate creativity such as art. But the competition will still remain due to millions of students competing for the best schools and jobs for the future, leading to the Gaokao to be engraved into Chinese culture and for the test itself to remain as the most reliable way towards success. Now, would I really adopt this to, let's say, the American system? Well, first of all, I do say I admire the elements of building character and a strong foundation for a future as a young age, but I admiration, I like the ability to study for long hours and endure intense hardships to achieve a goal. The motivation that leads to having great values of success, earning to not encourage students to, well, encourage the school students to try their best. And although it makes students across the nation very disciplined to perform wonderfully educationally, I think the intense and immense pressure would literally kill me because I will have to sacrifice my mental health, leading to anxiety, stress, and depression. And I will have to adapt to long hours of studying and going to school. And America does not have long hours. We only go to school from like 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. While in China, they go to school like from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then they're going to end up going home at 9 p.m. So that sounds awful. So, how did this help me understand more of my Chinese friends? Well, this whole study of the Chinese education system and the famous entrance exam has really offered me a more cultural insight towards my Chinese friends. The deep connection of having to achieve family social dignity, especially through their mianzi. The exam really gives them a chance for a great university and the chance to bring honor to the family. It just gave me an understanding that a score is not just a grade for them, but it shows how long they've been spending studying, putting their feelings, health, and their whole family for a future to try their best to not disappoint them. It just made me really grateful yet feel resentful because their academics is the key to surviving in their country, is a pressure beyond all Western students can experience. Now let's put up the beat. Let's go more happy. So now topic 3, Chinese New Year, the Spring Festival. So what is the Chinese New Year? The Chinese New Year is a celebration rooted in lunar cycles, serving as a family reunion and wishing good fortune. Starting with the lunar calendar. So the lunar calendar will start technically when the new moon will appear between January 21st till February 20. But the shifts will shift every year. An example, 2025 was in January 29, and this upcoming year for 2026, it will be on February 17. It will symbolize a new beginning, a rebirth, and hope. The timing will be like the coldest period of spring, which is why it's called the Spring Festival. To my surprise, this is a 15-day celebration. It's an extended celebration of ritual and tradition, having a celebration New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, worship, banquets of food, lantern festivals, and more, all depending on where the Spring Festival will land. And not gonna lie, I didn't even know there was an origin story, so I'm happy to have learned that it all started to scare away the monster Nian, which is funny because the name Nian is literally year. So, after the monster Nian emerges on the first day of New Year's, it terrorized villages, crops, and people. But the villagers discovered that Nian was weak to loud noises and the color red, leading to his defeat, making the stage for joy, unity, fortune, and a celebration of firecrackers, drum, and the color red. Oh my god, my boys left me. So before the New Year's begin, people will clean and purify it as a preparation for the new beginning. Cleaning their homes, family would conduct a spring cleaning of their home and property, where it would symbolize sweeping the old away to make room for the new, almost believed to remove all the bad luck of last year. Also, red decor. As I said in the previous slide, that the red color is very important. It also is important in decoration and in clothing. The home will be full of red paper cutouts, lanterns, red scrolls, and poetry in the doorframe. Not only that, but also the exchange of blessings, especially given red envelopes, also known as hongbao. Oh my god, if you said that, I don't know. Hongbao. So, which money is inside to give to children and younger relatives. And most of them who are given this is people who are married, adults, and elderly, leading to the envelopes to play a really huge part of the New Year's time, because the red envelope represents good wishes and blessings for the upcoming year. Also, sometimes the money inside the envelope is called 压岁钱, which I didn't know that, so now we know. So now for the food. Feast of food play a huge role in New Year's because it's when the families gather and have a reunion dinner, which is one of the most important meals of the year. The family will have a big feast, and it will just be a big dinner that is really sacred for the family. Everyone has to be there no matter if they live really far away. So the food will really be a symbol of abundance and prosperity. But one thing that's really interesting is that the food also be like a really symbolic meaning. There is a reason why there's a specific food to eat, because believe it or not, the Chinese names or the shapes resemble words of good fortune. Like the dumplings, 饺子, are shapes like the ancient Chinese gold ingots. That is an old historical currency used in ancient China, which were called yuanbao, which symbolize wealth and prosperity. Now for fish, yu, the word for the first sounds like a surplus or extra, which it will symbolize to have a surplus every year. So 年年有余. And also rice cakes. Rice cakes, 年糕, will be a sweet rice cake that will sound like higher every year, symbolizing a progress of higher income in the new year. Now, symbolism on this, we kind of explained it a little bit on the last slide, but this celebration has really many customs where meanings and symbols are everywhere. Starting again from the red, being the main symbol of good luck by banishing bad spirits away in a bright, prosperous way. Fireworks and firecrackers being a symbol of protection for scaring and putting away bad luck. Just as we talk about the story where the dragon Yin was really scared and weak to loud sounds, making fireworks and firecrackers really be a symbol of protection. For the food, like I said before, food being eaten in more of a symbolic prosperity and unity, as we talked about in the last slide. So, like eating rice balls, Tangyuan is a symbol of completeness and togetherness. And the reunion by having the family together to enter the new year as a family. Now to discuss it, I know it's a big chart, so what things are similar between the China Spring Festival, the American New Year's Eve, and Mexico El Año Nuevo is that in fireworks, all of them are being used. Crazy, right? So in China, this is to scare away the evil spirits. America, it has evolved more into a celebration, like a show, a spectacle that we can just see it outside our house. And in Mexico, almost also like a show and celebration. But what I love that they all share the same meaning of being so loud and bright. Now for the family gatherings, in China is a really mandatory dinner, so you have to be there. In America is mostly of a smaller group. It's not like the whole family. At this point, you can choose your closest friends, closest family members. You choose who you want to be there. In Mexico, it's more of a family thing. We have a really late night dinner, and we have a specific name for it, which is Cena de Año Nuevo, where we just have the family together united in the night of the new year. But what I like about all of this together is that we all just want to spend time family with our loved ones. And for the meals, like we said on the whole previous slides, China will have more of a symbolic food. America would have more of a festive food. So If anything, just imagine burgers. And for Mexico, we'll have some traditional dishes. We'll still have probably like tamales, probably some tacos around there. Just depends on your family. And it just this all of this three just represents eating together and being together and ready to start the new year. Now, some things we do for the new beginnings. In China, they will sweep away the bad. They will get new clothes. They will clean the whole house to take out the bad luck. For America, we don't do that. We just make resolutions where it's just technically saying like goals for the coming year. Like, let's say, like, one of my goals is to hit the gym more, right? For Mexico, we do have a ritual with that where it's also like almost like a goal, but you actually, it relates more to China where it's like doing something different, where it's like in Mexico or Mexicans, we will run in a suitcase the moment it hits New Year, like across the street, like to represent like you're gonna travel. That it'll be like carrying around new stuff. And the mostly things that my family does is eating 12 grapes, and each grape is like a resolution and a goal you want. And it's like a secret. You don't share it to anyone. Now for the meanings of this is that all of this are just hopes for the new year. So we all just hoping for a different thing, right? Ooh, yup. So why this festival matters in China? The festival is so important because it really extends into traditions and identity, where in family is just a returning to your family, like honoring your elders and ancestors. Even if a person is on a job overseas, they will try their best to celebrate with their family at this festival. And also, older generations pass down really strong traditions that they want to teach the younger generations and pass down like the Hongbao blessing and continuing the family's tradition. While in identity, the rituals have been, like I said, have been passed down, keeping Chinese identity and the celebration, preserving these rituals all over China, all of them sharing the same experience from different economic backgrounds, regions, and groups, showing the importance of Chinese identity. And millions of people would celebrate the Spring Festival because apart from being with family, just shows the connection between your nation, heritage, and your homeland. Oh, that's a nice picture. I love that. So, the influencing factors. Well, as a matter of fact, the celebration is really a fusion of ancient practices, governance structures, and agriculture. From starters, Confucianism is the powerful force of the festival of family values. Why, by Confucian dedicating that children should respect their parents and elders, leading to the mandatory dinner where many Chinese people will go back to their homeland to celebrate with their families because it's like a duty to have your presence in front of the family, a way to honor your ancestors in agriculture. I mean, a way to honor your ancestors. Also, in agriculture is celebrating celebrating China's long history of civilization, especially since the festival also marks the end of the coldest winter and is ready for the spring, almost showing like incoming harvest for the year. And just the structure and timing of the Chinese ancient calendar system is purely based on the cycles of the moon. Supposedly, this calendar links humans to the natural celestial rhythms, leading to the belief of life being aligned with the cosmos. And for the global significance, Chinese celebrations and tradition has spread across outside countries of Asia. Like, for example, many areas that have tons of Chinese communities, such as New York or San Francisco, and so much more. They will have parades of like the line dance, a fireworks show, or just sell really Chinese traditional local food, leading to tons of recognition across several countries where the Chinese festivals will be recognized in some Western calendars. In cultural exchange, exchanges will happen where people will celebrate and see the lion dance or see the Chinese performance, or also eat traditional food such as dumplings or rice cakes. It will just expand the culture and the influences across the globe. And not only that, but the Spring Festival gives them a chance to market Chinese business, to discover for like festival colors, or just anchor across the nation about this cultural tradition, dispersing the Spring Festival celebration to all. Now, insights from Chinese friends. This is a really blurred picture, but it's okay. My friends have told me that there are many other ways to see and celebrate New Year's Eve, which one of them was watching the famous CCTV gala. I didn't know that existed, but it's called Chunwan, where it's a technically a broadcast by Chinese Central Television, is specifically for the New Year's, where millions of families will watch it together, creating a family night celebration. Another way they can have fun as a family is to play games during the union dinner, spending quality together, playing games such as poker, mahjong, and whatever more there's. And it's just for the family to have fun and relax, having a bond together. And the thing that really makes the holiday symbolize like a restart is because it's just the beginning to start again with high hopes for the future, making you focus on being better and being together as a family. Just this part just places significant important for everyone. Application. So for the application, mostly for like the Chinese New Year, the future, I don't think the Spring Festival will really fade away because it's a big celebration where the whole nation celebrates together and the tradition that had been passed down for many, many years. So, by having important values such as family, unity will remain prosperous, and I call for everyone to return to their homeland as a chance to spend some time together with their families. If anything, I feel like the only thing would be changed is just the fact that it's being more modernized, right? So there will be virtual reunions where family will call each other as a video call and they will remotely see the family member. And not only that, but like the hongbao, where it's the rent envelope we had talked about, where you give money to each other, is it has evolved to a more modern technology where WeChat will allow people to send money. Furthermore, the hongbao graph a platform which is specifically to distribute money packets at a large scale. And this just leads to, yes, Chinese New Year or the Spring Festival will still stay for the long run, but it's a way to still express that it just being modernized is nothing's really gonna change, and we're still gonna have the unity of China and people together. Would I celebrate it? Of course I will. I will celebrate it because it just seems fun. I have a fun experience for everyone to experience. It's just so beautiful. It's a beautiful tradition. I wish I could celebrate it right now. Go over there, especially because I really love the color red. So I would love to see like the lanterns, everyone wearing red, and I will enjoy to eat some food. Yes, I know I can barely eat some food, but I would love to eat some food with family and friends, and I would love to see firework display and having that celebration as a family in the other side of the world. So, how did this expand my cultural understanding? Well, I understand that the reunion dinner and the massive Chunyun migration are not just traditions, but they reinforces the concept of family is the foundation of society. But I have also learned that the significance behind these values or visuals, such as the red lanterns, the color red, the lanterns, or the fireworks, is just allows me to appreciate all the meanings of the decoration and the joy. So ultimately, studying the Spring Festival has expanded my worldview by showing me how a civilization can successfully anchor to this modern life, to this modern age. And even though this was a really ancient tradition, it just made me cherish more the values of the Chinese New Year. So, yeah, this is my presentation. Thank you. This was a long presentation. I have learned a lot from this presentation, the class, and the research, and these were the top 3 topics that really stood out to me. And I probably you can tell back from me for talking for too long, but thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and have a good night.